everyone, in this video I'm going to be doing my Q&A, so all the questions you guys asked me, I shall answer those, and then also doing the winner draw for my 3k giveaway. So I'm going to do the winner draw part first because I realise there's some of you who are totally not interested in the Q&A, and that's completely fine. So we'll do this first so the guys who are not interested can skedaddle off, and then we'll jump to the Q&A. Oh yes, winner draw. I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who entered, all the people who, you know, have subscribed to me either recently or the long time subscribers. You guys are just also so awesome. All the comments you leave, I truly appreciate them. All the lovely comments on the giveaway, again, they were just, thank you all so much. I'm sorry, when there's like a giveaway, the comments come flying in, so I just don't have time or a chance to reply to some of them. But yes, again, thank you so much. So let's just do the thing. I've got my random.org ready, just in case you're wondering. I know a lot of people these days use the like the YouTube comment generator. I'm doing it the old-fashioned way with random.org because there were some comments that were not eligible, shall we say. A couple of people commented more than once, and that obviously messes up the statistics. And also there's people who, I'm not going to get too much into it, but like unsubscribe before the giveaway even ends. Like, if you're not interested in my content, then that's fine, but you don't get to take part in the giveaway when you're unsubscribed, and that's not how it works. So anyways, enough of that. Let's do the thing. We've got 1 to 166 generate number 92. I can hope you can see that. 92, which is not on that page, which is 92. Oh wow! Ugh. Sabine, I'm not going to try and butcher your last name, Sabine. You know who you are. Sabine is a long-time subscriber and commenter. So yay, Sabine! Congratulations on winning my 3k giveaway. Please email me ASAP so I can send this out to you. So yes, congratulations to you, Sabine. Yay! Right, there we go. There is that part done. Congratulations, Sabine, and a massive thank you to you all for entering. I wish I could give you all a sticker book. I know we all say this, but I wish I could. If I win the lottery someday, then I will. Obviously, look out for more giveaways in the future. I will say I may not be hosting them on YouTube. I won't host them on Instagram, don't worry, because I do know that some of you don't use Instagram, but I might do it through my blog or something, just because YouTube's giveaway rules are strict, and they're getting stricter, and I get really paranoid about these kind of things. So anyways, I'm going to look into it. Let's move on. So if you are only interested in the giveaway part of the video, that's completely fine. You have my permission to leave. Everybody else, you stay right the heck where you are, and we'll get on to the questions. Right, hello. Slight change of appearance. Basically had some technical difficulties about a quarter of a way through filming the Q&A part of this video and lost that footage. So yes, it's the next day. I must start again. So yes, blah blah, giveaway, thank you, you're all awesome. Winner, Sabine, please email me. I've probably already put this in. I don't remember what I've already filmed. I know I've done that part. Anyway, let's start the Q&A. Highly suggest you get yourself a snack, or just put me in the background while you do your own crafting or something, because this video will inevitably go on for a long time. So yes, with that said, shall we begin? So first questions are from Mrs. Stationery and Stuff. Hi Laura. First question, what got you into scrapbooking? Well, I think, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think it's something to do with being so heavily into planners. I've always been crafty and making cards and stuff, but for the scrapbooking, I think it's like, I was very into planners from 2011 onwards, I would say, and then, you know, like how the planner world and the scrapbook world kind of smashed into each other in, you know, kind of 2014 time, and things like Mambi and Simple Stories did the Carpe Diem stuff, and it just kind of came from there, from seeing other things on Instagram and just being more and more into the crafty world and seeing all these scrapbook layouts and being like, I want to do that. I'd already done like some creative journaling and stuff, but yeah, I think it came from the planner world, I think. Question 2 from Laura is, what is your one crafty item you couldn't live without? Now I'm going to assume that's excluding things like scissors and a paper trimmer and glue things, in which case my favourite, or couldn't live without, is this little guy. This is the Dovecraft distressing tool. I use it on almost every project. I just love it so much. There are other brands. I think there's a Tim Holtz one or a Ranger one, or yeah, but the Dovecraft one, I'm going to mess up my words today. I don't know, my head is a bit poof. Anyways, Dovecraft one. They're about £3 or £4 in the range, and I can't live without it. I love it so much. It's so little and cute and simple, but there it is. Thank you, Laura, for your questions. Carmen, oh, I'm gonna mess this up. I'm gonna say now to everybody, all of you, I'm so sorry if I mess your name up. I genuinely cannot apologise enough. But Carmen Casillas? Is it like the soft L? I don't know. Carmen, what tool for crafting do you not have? Well, there's lots and lots of things I don't have. I can't think of anything really specific. I would like a scoreboard trimmer, you know, like the We Are Memory Keepers one. That's the scoreboard and the trimmer all in one. It would just make life so much easier. That's on my wish list. Couple of the We Are Memory Keepers punch boards that I don't have, like the alphabet one. These two things I may get quite soon, actually, because they're quite high up on the wish list. I don't have a sewing machine. I don't have much sewing related things because I don't really do that, just a bit of paper stitching. I have a jelly plate, and that's very big at the moment, so I'd like to have a go at a jelly plate before I buy one, because like the good jelly plates seem to be quite pricey. So yes, lots of things that I don't have. Thank you, Carmen, for your questions. Alice Salter, very strange way of spelling Alice. It's got 2 L's in it. What an absolute weirdo. I'm allowed to say that because she is my best friend, just as an FYI. Anyway, which is your current favourite scrapbooking brand? And Joanna Owen asked, do you have a favourite brand and why? Well, my answer to any favourite brand questions is always going to be Trimcraft. Now, I know you're going to be like, oh, you're just saying that because you're design team. If you've been a long time sub of mine, follower, whatever, you will know I have been buying and using Trimcraft products long before I was design team, and obviously being design team helps because I get all the awesome things, but I do genuinely think they are an amazing brand, and it covers like all, you know, scrapbooking, card making, all of the things. So yes, I do genuinely love the brand. But as Alice asked about scrapbooking brand, and you could argue that Trimcraft's, like the Dovecraft and First Edition, are like pinpointed to scrapbooking, I suppose you could say, like some of the other brands are, then my answer is either Pink Paisley, which I love, because I just love all the florals and I just love the aesthetic, and anything Paige Evans does, you know, I mean, that woman could probably spit on a piece of paper and I'd buy it. And also Kaisercraft, because I just love all their stuff as well. And I know some of you think I say Kaisercraft weird, but it's because it's an Australian brand and that's how the Australians say it. And I'm funny about getting things right, so that's why I say it like that. Anyways, yes, Kaisercraft are just, their collectibles, their ephemera packs are amazing. Their stamps are incredible. I love them. I do wish their paper was slightly higher on the GSM because it is quite flimsy. But other than that, yes, Kaisercraft, because so many bits and elements of their collections and they're constantly churning them out, and there's never one that you go, ah, it's not so good. There's some that you like more than others, but yeah. And then Pink Paisley, because I love the general aesthetic of Pink Paisley things. There's other brands like I really like One Canoe 2 and lots of other things under the American Crafts umbrella, but Pink Paisley and Kaisercraft are ones that I will go, I want all of this collection. With the other brands, I might want bits and bobs from it, but those two are the ones I'm like, I want all of it. So yes, hope that covers that one. Question 2 from Alice, what is your favourite style of card to make? Now, I don't tend to make fancy fold cards. I'm just not very good at it. My brain is not mathematical enough, and if I try and follow a tutorial for a fancy fold card, I mess it up and I get annoyed and frustrated and So I'm a simple girl. I just like making your bog standard 5x7 card that folds out. I do like doing fun things like adding a shaker element or something like that, or, you know, doing a bit of stitching and whatnot, but yeah, standard 5x7 card blank folded out like this. Very boring. Which is your favourite mixed media item to use? Now, if I do the same as I did with Laura's first question, sort of, Laura's second question, ignoring things, the basics like gesso and gel and 3D mediums and stuff, then probably sprays and mists, like all those guys over there. I think that would be my favourite. I think, but I do love my Kuretake watercolours and I love my glitter pastes and so many things I love, but I think my main one, if I, you know, gun to my head, you have to get rid of everything but one style of thing, I think I would keep the sprays. I think. Question 4 from Alice. How many washi tapes do I have now? And this question was seconded by Josie. Thank you guys for that question. I did count. It did take me a while. And the grand total of the ones that I could find, admittedly there might be some dotted around elsewhere that I might have missed, but that total is 671, which is not as bad as I thought it was going to be fair. I do happen to know there's 5 or 6 on their way, but I didn't buy those. They're a gift. But yeah, let's say 670-ish. And last question from Alice, how excited are you for PCE? PCE is PlannerCon Europe, if you do not know, and I am very excited, Alice, and I have tickets, we have our hotel booked, and just so excited for PlannerCon Europe. The last one looked amazing. I didn't go, but it just looked incredible, and yes, I'm just so excited. I haven't left the country in years. I'm not so excited about having to pay for a new passport because my previous one has run out, but other than that, I'm very excited. Need to brush up on my French, which I know in Brussels, like, almost everyone speaks English, but I feel like it's polite to make an effort, you know, even if my French is atrocious. Queen Mabel and Doris, I think your name is Susie, and I cannot apologise enough if that's wrong, but anyways. How much pre-planning do you do for the layouts you film? It's hard to say because it can be anything from really, really planned to not even planned a little bit. I will either, if one of my layouts has stitching or a cut file, just assume I've done quite a lot of planning for that. But some of them, I will just sit down and go for it, especially the mixed media ones. I just get my kit ready and I sit down and just go, right, what am I going to do? So yeah, it can be, as I said, anything from really planned to not planned at all. How did you come across all the brands you design team for, and how long have you been doing that? And Kim Ford asked, how did you become part of the PR teams you are, and what made you choose the ones that you have? So I am on 3 design teams. All of the 3 I had either had interactions from or purchased from before, so I was already well aware of them. I didn't go out looking to be on a design team kind of thing. I wasn't, you know, right, want to be on a design team, let's find who's got a call out going on. They were companies, brands that I had, as I said, interactions with or had already purchased from or something, so you know, I knew I liked them or whatever, and they do design team call outs, and then when the call out comes, you apply. Okay, one of mine I was asked to be on, but let's just push that aside, that's not important. Yeah, that's how I came across them. It was just people brands I'd already purchased from kind of thing. If I use the example of Trimcraft to say how I got onto that one, I had already had loads of interaction with them beforehand, so yeah, as I said, I was already buying their products and using their products. I was making efforts to, you know, like use their hashtags and tag them in projects and stuff. I won, I think, one of their competitions. Now I know you can't actively win a competition, it just so happens, but when I did win, you know, it made a big deal out of showing the items and tagged them and everything. So, you know, they were already becoming aware of me because I'm just like in the corners going, hello. Hello, pay attention to me, hello. What else? I did a Follow Friday with them because I'm already like actively putting myself out there on Instagram and YouTube. Obviously, it kind of, people are aware of the fact that you exist kind of thing. I don't know what's a polite way to put that, but yes, anyway, so already had interactions with them. I got invited to their bloggers day and stuff, so when they did the design team call out and I applied, obviously they kind of knew my name, as it were. I couldn't tell you why they chose me, you'd have to ask them, but yes, so that's how you become a part of a PR team. You apply, but it's great if you have some interactions with the company or the brand beforehand. How did I come across? What made you choose the ones you have? As I said, just ones that, you know, I've already been buying from. I like the brands, I like the shop or whatever. So yes, I think that covers that. And last one from Queen Mabel and Doris is, what is your favourite craft for when you are stressed out? I would say probably art journaling, because it doesn't really matter so much if you screw it up, I suppose. And it's just, you know, just throw some paint at a piece of paper, and if you're so stressed that you can't make something look pretty, then you just forget it and throw it away. Sometimes I'll make a really, really simple card. So something, especially with some of the, like if you use like a decoupage pad or something, then it's all kind of pre-made for you. You don't have to think about it too much. So just doing something kind of like that doesn't require too much brain activity going on. I never scrapbook when I'm stressed though. No, I don't know why, I just don't. But yeah, art journaling I would say is my favourite thing to do when I'm stressed. Pen Melbourne asks, do you ever see craft or social media influencing as being your main job? Well, I would love it to be. More than anything, it's my favourite thing to do, and I would love it to be, but I just don't know how it could be. There are thousands upon thousands of us, you know, small YouTubers and other crafters and stuff who would love it to be our jobs, and there's, you know, this many people who want it and this many jobs available kind of thing. So yes, would I like it to be? Yes. Do I ever see? I just don't know if it's possible kind of thing. But if there's anyone out there who would like to offer me a job, that would be fine. Catherine Smith, who is your inspiration on YouTube? So I'm not entirely sure if you mean YouTube like being inspired by the style of video kind of thing, or just people I watch on YouTube who I get inspired with crafty wise. For the first, I don't get inspired by other people's videos in terms of how I create mine, as it were. I very much do my own thing. But as for crafty inspiration on YouTube, I don't know, let's have a look at my subscriptions, because I watch a lot of YouTube. My person who, when they post a new video, I genuinely go, yay, new video from them, is Paige Evans, because as I've mentioned her once or twice already, I have just the biggest craft crush on that woman. She's just awesome. I'm trying to access my subscriptions, but we got the turny circle. Oh, hello! Widden is great. I love her stuff. I've recently come across a channel called Steak Goddess, I think, and she makes me chuckle, so I really like her. Becky Bitting's videos are hilarious, and she's a very talented scrapbooker as well, but I really enjoy her voiceovers. Heather's Crafty Life. There's just loads and loads and loads. Yeah, lots. I'd say my main is still Paige though, because I love that woman. Okay, so 2 questions here about inspiration. There's one from Felicity Seal and one from Chitana. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. So Felicity, where do you get all your amazing ideas from? What gives you inspiration? And Chitana, who is your greatest inspiration for craft? So as for where I get my inspiration and ideas from, I don't know, it's hard to say. As I said, I watch a lot of YouTube, I scroll through a lot of Instagram, I don't go on Pinterest just because I don't like the user interface. It's nothing to do with, I don't have anything against Pinterest, I just don't enjoy it kind of thing. But it's kind of like, I've never directly scrap lifted anyone or directly followed a sketch or anything like that. It's more that I see different ideas and different techniques done by lots of different people, and it will all just come into my brain and then swirl around in the mixing bowl that is my skull, and then something else comes out kind of thing. And also I'll get inspired by random things, even just like the piece of paper or the kit I've got in front of me will inspire me. Yesterday I made a scrapbook layout of a seagull because I had the new Beach Life collection from Trimcraft, and I was looking at it, I'm going, what am I going to make with this? And then just that moment, a seagull landed at my window and started pecking at the window because he's a regular and he does that a lot. I just went, there are seagulls in this Beach Life collection, I'm going to make a seagull layout. So there's an example of where I get inspiration from. And for who, I don't know, I know I keep saying Paige, but I don't generally scrap lift her or anything. I do think everything she does is beautiful, of course, but I don't know if I have one. Lots of people. I'm more inspired by things that I see and the collections that I see rather than who a person kind of thing. That probably sounds awful. Another person who is great is Alicia, I think it's Alicia McNamara, who's on the Kaiser Craft design team. Her work is fabulous as well. There's so many people I could mention, and then I start feeling bad that I'm going to leave people out, so yes. But not too many, like, direct inspiration human beings, I suppose. That doesn't make any sense. Sorry for those bad answers. Oh, and what is your favourite crafty item? We have covered. Rune X Heart, whose name reminds me of my old MSN username. What's one collection you really love but never got bits from? There was one from Kaiser Craft last year, which I never managed to get my hands on because it was only available in one store, online store in the UK, and was a little overpriced. Oh, I had a cough. Anyways, but it turns out it's going to be in the next Thompson's Craft Supplies monthly kit. So yay, I'm so excited about that. But another one would be Simple Stories did a cat collection. I've forgotten the name of it, but it was just cute little cats in that Simple Stories style, and I really wanted it, and I just never got my hands on it. So I would say that cat one from Simple Stories, whatever it was called. Josie Dobson, when you do a layout, do you get all the supplies together you want to use, or do you just pick as you go? Unless using a kit. I will, well obviously there's using a kit, but I will, if I'm doing a non-kit or non-design team or whatever layout, I will, or a creator journal spread for example, I will get all the things that I think I'm going to use, like some papers, some stickers and whatever, a sticker book or something, and I will get them all and put them on my desk, and those are the ones I intend to use. But always, not even 99% of the time, 100% of the time during the process, I will think, I've got something else that's going to match that way better than anything I've got in this pile. So yes, I will start off with a pile of things I'm going to use, but inevitably end up picking more things as I go. So both is the answer to that. And second question, what do you print your pictures onto, and do you use a standard printer or a photo printer? I'm going to shock you all by saying I just use a standard printer and standard printer paper. Well, not standard printer paper. I use 120 GSM paper to print my photos on. It has a slight shine to it. Yeah, I just use a standard printer. I used to get my photos printed, but I no longer like scrapping with 6x4 or 5x3 pictures. I don't, it's too big for me. I like smaller pictures, and I know that you can like collage them in an app and then send them off to be printed, but I'm far too lazy to do that, and it's just so easy to just quickly print off one thing on my printer. I have a Canon MG something. It was only about £50 new, and it's fine. It is advertised, I think, as being quite a good photo printer, so yes, but just standard printer, that's it. Not very exciting. Amanda Reece, sorry. How do you not hoard things in your stash? I recently did some spring cleaning and was surprised at my many more things I own than I thought I did. I do hoard things in my stash. It's just, I will admit to this, but this year I have made a promise to myself to start using more of my stash, and I have been quite good at that. One thing is I know my stash quite well. I'm always reorganising in here, always. It's like my second hobby is organising my craft stuff. So yes, because I'm always tidying up and reorganising in here, I know my stash quite well, so I know what's there. So as I said before, when I'm like working on something, I will think, I know a thing that I can use for that. Another thing I remind myself is, you know, if I use this big ephemera piece, say, and it turns out in 2 months' time it would have been more perfect for another layout, is that really the worst thing in the world? Is it really? I can just buy another one, or buy something very, very similar if it's no longer available. And I love craft shopping, so, you know, I have to remind myself you enjoy shopping, so if you do use it and need another one, you will enjoy buying another one. Another thing I would say about not hoarding is to use the example of Chamel's story of the special paper. I'm sure many of you have heard it before. She has a blog post on this, which is many years older. I will see if I can find it for you, but the very basic story is, years and years ago, she bought 10 of like this paper that was absolutely beautiful, and over the next few years, every time she went to use it, it was like the photo wasn't special enough, the project wasn't special enough for that particular paper, and that went on and on and on. And then eventually, however many years later, she had the project or the photo or whatever to use. She was like, oh, finally, this is going to be perfect for that special paper. And then when she went to get the paper out, she looked at it and was like, oh, I hate this now. I don't like it anymore. So yes, I think that's a really good story and a really good example of how you need to use things while you still like them, because our tastes are always changing. My tastes are always changing. So yeah, I may love something now, but I might not love it in 2 years, so it's better to use it while I still love it. So Natalie Weller, and I think it was someone called Nancy, and I'm sorry if I got that wrong because you emailed me, both asked what my job is. Now this is awkward, this came up last year as well. I do have a part-time job, but I cannot tell you what it is. So sorry about that, I'm sure it's really annoying and frustrating, but yeah, as I said, it came up last year. I can't tell you what it is. I also realise that makes it sound like it's really super secret and exciting. I don't work for GCHQ, I do not work for MI5, it's nothing even remotely exciting. I just can't tell you what it is because I can't put it out there and do it. Anyways, so sorry, cannot answer that question. Holly, how do you find time to do all your crafting / planning? Well, I think we can take planning out of the equation there because I spend half an hour to 20 minutes on a Sunday evening, Monday morning planning out my week, and then maybe 5 minutes a day going over it, and I might have an extra 10 minutes midweek doing it, but yeah, so I don't spend much time doing that at all, so we can just forget that one. Crafting is, I do a lot of crafting and I do have a lot of time for it. The reason being, sorry, my thing is strangling me. As previous question said, I do have a part-time job and it is very, very flexible, so that helps. The reason I work part-time is because I don't want to be that person who keeps banging on about it, but I do have a chronic illness and that means I cannot physically work full time. So there's that. I'm also, at the risk of sounding really lame, I'm not very sociable and I don't get out much. So, you know, when at the weekend when a lot of people are out at the pub and stuff and socialising, I'm here in my craft room. So yes, I don't drink as well. I'm used to. I'm not saying I've never drunk, no, but I don't anymore. And British culture is very pub related. So, and I know you can go and have an orange juice or whatever, but I don't really enjoy being around a load of drunk people, to be honest. It's just not fun when you're sober and then just So yes, I don't socialise much, and I don't tend to watch much TV or anything, and it just makes me sound like a hipster douchebag, but it just genuinely I don't. Obviously I binge watch the occasional Netflix series, who doesn't? But you know, a lot of people, they come home from work, they kick back, relax, sit and watch some TV for the evening, but I just don't do that. So when other people are doing stuff like that, I'm here in my craft room. So yes, it's a mix of all of those above things that mean that I have lots of time for crafting. Magpies and monkeys, I have had many mishaps, like rinsing my brushes out in my cup of tea, yes I've done that, or smudging a freshly finished piece. What has been your most calamitous crafting cock-up? You know what, I really can't think of one big major thing I have messed up. I'm always doing things like the things you mentioned, like putting your brushes in your cup of tea, or the other side of that, drinking your dirty brush water. Please tell me someone else has done that and you kind of go anyways. Smudging freshly finished piece all the time, putting splatters going in the wrong place, always smudging freshly put on Nouveau drops or other enamel things, always doing that. Leaning on things and creasing them. I'm quite, I don't know, haphazard slapdash sometimes in the things I do, so I do make loads and loads and loads and loads of little errors all the time, but generally they are things that can be covered up, so touch wood, no calamitous ones. That I'm sure there has been, but I can't think of one right now, but I'm sure there has been. Maisie Boo, what do you do if you lose your motivation for crafting? I do a number of things. One, I will just force myself to do it. I know that's a sucky answer, but I would just sit down and force myself to do it. It might be something simple, like I was mentioning, when you're stressed out, do something like the art journal, something that doesn't matter so much kind of thing, or just do some doodling, or like in my journals, not my creative journal, my everyday journal, I washi tape the edges of the pages just because it's a good way to use up the washi. So I'll do something like that, something that's more factory line kind of thing. On that subject, I might do some sort of like some fussy cutting or something, because it's like a preparation for crafting, but not actively crafting kind of thing. And then usually as your fussy cut, I think I'm talking too fast. I'm trying to make this video not 4 hours long. Yes, I will. As you're doing fussy cutting, you might even get inspired as you're doing the fussy cutting and think, oh, you know, I can think of great things to do with this kind of thing. Another thing I do is that hobby I mentioned before, which is tidy and organise my craft room. And inevitably when I do that, I will come across something that will then inspire me to do something. So that's usually a good thing. And the last thing is just I walk away. I take a break. I just say, you know what, I just need to get away. I need to step away from this and go and do something else. Or watch some Netflix, read a book, go and sit in the garden, do something else. Sometimes you just need to just step away. And sometimes I will go and do that and say watch some YouTube videos, like crafty ones, and then they will actually inspire me. But sometimes if you're really unmotivated about crafting and you watch crafty YouTube videos, it just hacks you off even more. So yeah, hopefully one of those at least was helpful. Melanie Petley, how do you store your old ring planner inserts in old unused planners? That's where they're stored. Seriously, I have a bunch of planners over there in a hairband on wrist is not an attractive look. Yeah, so they all just go in old planners that are the same size. Eventually that's not going to work anymore because I don't buy planners as often as I used to, because I get weirdly loyal to the planners I'm using. I don't know what that's about. My current ones I've been in for ages and ages, so eventually when I don't have any planners left to store old inserts in, I will probably just get a ring binder or something. That'll do. Or maybe throw them away. I should throw them away. I really should. There's no point in keeping them. But I spent a lot of money on all those stickers and the layouts are pretty and... Anyway, there you go. Caroline, is there something crafty, a technique or material that you know about now and had wished you know when you first started crafting? Well, I have been crafting like pretty much all my life, so it's hard to say, but some things I use now that I haven't always used. Gel medium, gloss or matte gel medium, I wish I knew about a long time ago. It's the most awesome substance ever. I love it. And on that note, glossy accents as well. I got my first one maybe 18 months ago and the stuff is just glorious. It sticks anything to anything and you can use it to highlight things and it's marvellous. As for technique, I don't know, it's hard to say because all the techniques I have now have built up slowly over time, or I've forgotten where I learnt them and stuff. I wish I knew about paper stitching or knew how to paper stitch for a longer time than I have done, kind of thing. Here's a random one that I only learnt to do this not even a year ago, but how to sew a bow, because I can't tie a bow to save my life, and sometimes you have the fork method of tying a bow, which is why I keep a fork in my craft room, but that doesn't work with all ribbon. It only really works with little baby ribbon. So yes, I wish I had learned how to sew a bow a long time ago, because now I do it so often. So there's a weird little technique I wish I had learned a long time ago. Rebecca Turner, do you have any wish list items? My main wish list item at the moment is a silhouette cameo. I have a portrait and I love it and I do use it constantly, quite literally every day I would say. But because it's the portrait, it only goes up to 8 inches wide and I can't cut directly onto a 12 by 12 layout. And I am a 12 by 12 layout girl. I don't want to go down to like 8 by 11 just for the sake of the portrait kind of thing. So yes, I would like a cameo, just to upgrade to the bigger size cameo. But they are not cheap, so that's a savvy up item, that one. Kate Sargent, I really want to make a YouTube channel, but I'm a little worried about it. So I'd like to know your top 3 things you wish you had known when you started your channel. So, 3 things that I wish I'd known. There's one thing that I learned very recently, and I don't know where I heard it. It was on like a YouTube channel that was about having a channel, like tips and stuff. And apparently, so when you create a video, you edit a video, you save it to your hard drive or whatever, and you give the file a name. Obviously, I don't know how this works, by the way, for people who do all their editing and everything, and they do everything on their phone or iPad. I don't know how it works for you guys, but most of us will transfer it to a computer to edit and render and whatnot. Apparently, whatever you name your file that you upload to YouTube takes that into account for their algorithms. So for example, you might just title it card video 3 or video for Tuesday the 2nd, or you know, something like that. But if you actually put in your file title things like scrapbook layout, whatever brand you're using, maybe put mixed media or some of the techniques like paper stitching or handmade embellishments, or if you put that all in your file name that you upload, apparently that makes a difference. And the same for thumbnails as well. You give your thumbnail, unless you use the pre-generated ones that YouTube automatically make, if you upload your own, same thing. Apparently, I don't want to say take my word as gospel as that, because I only heard it like a couple of months ago, but there has been a slight rise in things since I started doing that. That could be a coincidence, but 2, wish I'd known. Thumbnails, I think, are important. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with just choosing one of the 3 that YouTube generate from your video, but I do think people are more likely to click on your video if you have put effort into your thumbnail and into your title. It just, yeah, it comes across as more professional, I suppose. It just encourages people to click. If they're scrolling through their subscriptions and you've got one video that's like a slightly blurry thumbnail and the title doesn't really explain what the video is, or if there's a misspelling in there, or it's all lowercase or something, and then the next video they see is a beautifully edited thumbnail with a clear title, and then, you know, the actual title of the video is very clear and concise and stuff, they are more likely to click on that one. So yeah, put efforts into things like thumbnail and title. And on that note, in your description box as well. I get really discouraged. Sorry, I'm having to turn the vibrate off my phone because it won't shut up and it's really distracting. What was I saying? Yes, description box. Put something in it, because I don't know, when you just open a description box and there's just nothing there, I'm just like, oh, okay. Even if you just write something that you're going to put in every single description box, such as a little bit of info about yourself and, you know, other places you are, your Instagram handle, your email and stuff. Even if you just have that and copy and paste it into every description box for every video, it helps. It just makes you look like, I can't think of the right word, but it just helps. The last thing, I've probably gone beyond 3 things, but these things are just popping into my brain, is to remember how people watch YouTube. That's going to sound weird. So most people when watching YouTube will have it on autoplay, or they'll have it on a playlist, and they'll have it, you know, on their desk or something while they do their own crafting, have it on in the background while they do their ironing. They'll watch it on their TV via an app or something. And because of that, a lot of people don't get a chance to put a thumbs up or a comment on there. And yeah, sometimes I can get a bit like, with the view count compared to the amount of thumbs up or something, but I just try and remember that, okay, they're genuinely people who just didn't like it, and that's fine, but a lot of people just don't get a chance to do it because they're watching on autoplay, or when you're watching on a TV, I don't think some of the apps there's not an option to leave a thumbs up. So yeah, just try and remember how people watch YouTube. It's not that necessarily that they didn't like it, it's just they didn't have a chance to. I personally, if I've watched an autoplay, I will then go through my video history and leave all the thumbs up, but that's because I'm a YouTuber and I know how important they are, and I'm not saying everyone needs to do that. Tiny Squid Rachel also asked some YouTube related questions. We've got, what made you decide to start making YouTube videos, and what advice would you give to anyone that is just starting to make Crafty Planner videos or would like to start making that sort of stuff? So for me, on starting to make YouTube videos, it was a couple of things. It started off, I was really poorly, just with a bad cold or something, and I'd binge watched loads of YouTube and I ran out of things to watch, and back then there weren't as many crafty YouTubers as there are now, and I asked in a Facebook group like for recommendations and nobody replied, and I kind of think maybe I should just make my own, like to make the stuff that I would like to see, so there might be more people out there who want to see the stuff that I want to see. Also, I had just started my masters up in Nottingham, and in all honesty I was a little bit lonely up there. I had housemates in all my previous years in my undergrad at uni, and yeah, I was just so overwhelmed with all the masters stuff. I just needed some sort of outlet for creativity and something like that, and I am quite an introverted person, so having this outlet is quite nice. It's quite good for my old mental health, I think, personally. But yes, so all of those things are why I decided to start a channel. What advice? Well, hopefully the previous question covers some of that. I would also say, and it's gonna sound so cliche, and I'm sorry, but be yourself. I know it's so cliche, isn't it? But seriously, be yourself. Sometimes I see new channels appear and it sounds awful, but you can just tell when someone is faking it. You really can. Even if you are a ridiculous human being, such as myself, you just gotta be yourself. People know if you're faking it, and if they don't like your personality, then that's cool. They can just, you know, not watch, as it were. So, yeah, be yourself. It's like, makes me sound like a primary school teacher, but genuinely, the amount of people who don't do that sometimes is a bit shocking. Revere, sorry if wrong, asks, where do you get all these funky stickers and sheets? I love them a lot and search for them too, but didn't find anything as funky. Well, I don't know if you are referring to anything specific, but in all my videos, probably not this one, but in all my other videos, I will always put as many links as I possibly can to the items I have used or the items I've bought. So yeah, check the description box in any of my videos and the links will be there. I am aware, however, for anyone who's not in the UK, that my links are UK-based links. Now, I can't really help that because that's where I live and that's where I do my shopping. And if I start to find links for other countries, then, you know, I'll get a link for one country and someone will yell at me, well, why don't you have my country link? So I can't open that can of worms. But for any of my Amazon links, I think when you click on them, you can like change the toggle or something to go to your own country. Something like 40% of my subscribers are UK. So for most of you, the links are fine. But yes, for anyone who's not, I'm sorry. It's just I don't really know what I can do about that. But yes, some of the places I order from as well do international shipping. So yes, my main answer to that question is links are always in the description about where I get stuff from. Bronwyn Howells asks, would just like to know how you got into crafting. Oh, okay, there's a bunch of questions that are related to this. So Bronwyn Howells like to know how you got into crafting. Catherine Long, how did you learn to do your scrapbook layouts? Mrs. Andrea Nicole, not sure how to say your last name. Have you always been super creative and crafty like you are now? Did it take you a long time to get this creative? And Calais? Oh, I'm so sorry. It's just, oh, I feel so bad. When did you start scrapbooking? So, getting into crafting, how long I've been crafting, did it take me a long time? I know everyone answers this question with the same thing, but I've always been crafty and creative just ever since I can remember. And I know everybody says that, but it's true. I'm not going to make it up. That's just the way it is. I would say when I was younger, I was more arty than crafty. My dad was always buying me arty sets. I mean, I had oil paints at the age of about 7, which is ridiculous, really, when you think about it. But yes, I've always been arty and crafty. I've been making cards for my family ever since I was a tiny little squidgy thing of a person. So yes, since ever, really. But obviously you learn more as you go, and more experience, you learn more things. For my current situation of crafting all the time and being, you know, being the main part of my life kind of thing, that came about, I'd say, from about age 21 onwards. It's in the past, how old am I? 7 years. And then especially over the past 4 to 5 is when it's really exploded, and now it's really my thing. So yes, that's how I got into it. I don't remember how I got into it. I just always have been, kind of thing. I know that's a really annoying answer, sorry. Oh, Catherine's question of how did you learn to do your scrapbook layouts? Oh, they are so amazing. Thank you for saying that. Mostly YouTube. Yes, look, I watch a lot of YouTube. It's kind of the same way I was saying about how I get inspired. I just watch a lot of things. With scrapbook layouts, honestly, it's experience. It's just, you learn through doing. There was a question on the Mrs. Brimple's Facebook group recently about how to get into 12x12 scrapbooking. And pretty much everyone's answer, apart from mine, was saying about scrap lifting people and following sketches and stuff. And I'm not saying that is bad advice. It's perfectly good advice for a lot of people. But for me personally, I've never scrap lifted, and I've never followed a sketch. So that's just for me personally. The way I've done it is just through self-taught kind of thing. I'm very like an independent kind of person. I need to learn how to do it myself kind of thing. So I think the best way to learn is just to do, really. And again, that's another annoying answer. I'm so sorry. Although, when did you start scrapbooking? I was doing very basic scrapbooking in about 2015, I would say, but my first 12x12 I would say was 2016, so not long at all. 2.5-ish years, something like that. And that third one from Andrea of, is being this crafty relaxing for you? Generally speaking, yes. Yes, it is very relaxing. I really love doing it. Sometimes it isn't relaxing. Sometimes when I've got deadlines and stuff, it can be a little bit stressful. Not that I'm complaining, of course, but you know, when you've got lots and lots to do, and sometimes I stress about getting a YouTube video up in time, and I just have to remind myself, you know, YouTube isn't my job. I don't have to have a video up on a certain date. So like this week, for example, I didn't have a chance to do a creative journal spread, and that's okay. So I just try not to get stressed about it. So yes, generally, yes, it is relaxing. Kerry, now I'm saying Kerry because it's C-E-R-I, and I know someone who has it spelled that way, and you call her Kerry. So if that's wrong, I'm sorry. I'm just going by what I know. Anyway, Kerry asks, what are your best markers to use for your paper craft? I don't think I am qualified to answer this question because I have only ever used the same markers, which is Copic markers or Copic markers. According to the Copic HQ, we're allowed to say Copic in the UK. I don't know why I'm so funny about pronunciation. It's just a thing. But anyways, I've only ever used Copic, so I can't say they're definitely the best because I've never used anything else, but I do love them. I think they're marvellous. I think they're excellent. But as I said, I don't have any basis for comparison. So yes, sorry. Best markers for my paper craft? Copic markers, because I've never used anything else. Yes, repeating myself. Lucy Van Pelt, what part of the UK are you from? I'm from the sunny south. Me too, Lucy. Sunny south. I'm in Kent, on the Kent coast. France is 22 miles. That way. So yes, same part, sunny south. Zoe, another one of my besties. Is there a particular scrapbook spread you absolutely love that you have done? Now, I was thinking about this when this question first came in, and it's like Sophie's choice, you know? I can't choose between my babies. Genuinely, usually it's one of my more recent ones that I love the most. and then a month later it'll be a different recent one. So I'm sorry, I just can't choose. I just don't know. There are some I hate, of course, but yeah, I don't think I can choose. Sorry. Do you plan out projects before you make them? If so, do they always turn out like you had planned? Well, we've covered the planning in a previous question, but do they turn out like you had planned? Never. Almost never, I would say. No, never. I read a quote recently, and this is not verbatim, this is just roughly how I remember it, but basically it says, it was for artists, saying, if you try and create that image you have in your mind exactly, then you will always be disappointed. So yes, don't try and create that perfect thing. You've got that perfect plan in your head, and if you try and completely reproduce it, you will always be disappointed, because it's almost impossible to go from there to there precisely, as it were. So yeah, do they always turn out like you had planned? No, never. Almost never. Sometimes they're like similar-ish to what I had planned, but yeah, generally no. And also, do you have any pet hates about YouTube? Yes, I do. YouTube is an open forum that anyone on the internet can access, so obviously you're going to get people who are not... Yeah, but yes, at the moment, and this is not really applicable necessarily to my channel, it's also other things I see when I watch other channels as well, but I do think, and this is very much a generalisation, it is not directed at anyone at all in particular, it's just things I see sometimes on my channel, often on other channels, that I think more people do need to remember that us as YouTubers, especially small YouTubers like myself, we are providing you with free content to watch. You might have to watch a 5-second ad, but other than that, we are providing you with free content. And I'm not saying you need to be like, oh, you're the best thing ever for doing this, thank you, and eternally grateful. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying when it comes to the more negative side of things, then try and remember that. And not only are we providing you with free content to watch, but we're also human beings with feelings, and, you know, those feelings can be hurt. So it's just like, before you leave that slightly negative comment or demand a different type of video or say something like, I wish you still did this kind of thing because I don't like your new stuff kind of thing. It's like, of course you have a right to your opinion, but it's still like, I think more important than your opinion is someone else's feelings. That's what I think personally. It's my personal view on the matter. So yeah, before you leave that thumbs down or slightly negative comment, just think about that person who has created that for you, and maybe the video was completely awful. Maybe the thing they created looks like something you stepped in. Maybe it does. But is it really necessary to put a thumbs down on it, kind of thing? I saw a video recently, it was shocking quality. The thing they made was not very good, and it had so many thumbs down, and I felt so bad for them because they were obviously proud of it, and it's just... I know, and people will say, I have a right to leave a thumbs down, and yeah, you do have a right to do that. Of course you do. We all have a right to free speech. I have a right to say to some random person on the street that their shirt is really ugly and their hair looks like a bird's nest. But I don't do that because that would hurt their feelings and then make them feel bad for the rest of the day, kind of thing. So yeah, I'm just saying, just reminding, and this is like 98% of you don't do this anyway. It's just a couple of people, and I'm not referring to something that's going on my channel at the moment. Some of you may have noticed I have a bit of a troll problem, but yes, I'm not talking about that. That's a different thing. But yeah, it's more on behalf of other people. It's just to kind of say, guys. Anywho, I don't want to go on a massive rant about it. It's just something that's been annoying me recently when I just see loads and loads of thumbs down on a video, and I just feel really sorry for that person, and it's just like, And the irony of it is that YouTube doesn't actually care whether it's a thumbs up or a thumbs down. For their own algorithms, they don't care. The only person it really affects is the creator, but I think that creator is very important, and they are a human being with feelings, as I keep saying. So, okay, I'm gonna stop on that subject now. Christine asks, what are your tattoos? The tattoos that you guys will see are these two. I also have a cat on my foot and birds on my left leg. But the ones you see are both Tolkien related ones. I'm a Tolkien nerd, by the way. I'm obsessed with his works. I always have been. But yes, so this is his little symbol that's on, it kind of stretches when I hold my hand up, which is unfortunate. The best way to see it is that way. But yeah, so this is his little symbol that goes on all of his works. It's his initials, so you've got J, R, R, and T for John Ronald Reuel Tolkien. And this one is Smaug the Dragon. It is nothing to do with those Hobbit films, which I hate, by the way. But yes, this is the little doodle of Smaug that Tolkien did himself and was on the first edition cover of The Hobbit, and you will see it on many later editions of The Hobbit as well. So yes, Smaug the Dragon. Princess Ems, how do you store your Kaiser Craft stamps? I store them in the way that I store all my stamps. This is not all my stamps. I have 2 of these little things. They are like the IKEA ones, but mine are from Home Bargains. And I keep all my other stamps are the smaller ones, so they go that way, but my bigger stamps are stored here. Let's find a Kaiser. So just in their packaging, like this, and just like that. It's really that simple. After a while, the packaging does start to split, in which case I will put it in a little baggie like this, and I pick those little baggies up from the range for like £1 for 100 or something ridiculous like that. They do come in different sizes, I should say. They're not all the big ones, but yeah, just like that. Not very exciting. Sabine, the winner of my giveaway. Congratulations again, Sabine. When did you start with mixed media? What was your first mixed media project? Do you want to show it to us? Well, it depends what kind of mixed media you mean, because if you mean like the light mixed media that a lot of scrapbookers do, then I've been doing that for the same amount of time I've been scrapbooking, I would say. And as I was saying earlier, I've been arty all my life, so I have a lot of experience with paints and different mediums, so that has helped on my mixed media journey, already having that knowledge and experience and stuff. But if you mean like that really heavy mixed media, what I call in my brain the Prima mixed media, I don't know why, that's just how it works in my head, or the Finnabair mixed media, that really heavy stuff, then that has only started since I've been on the Thompson's team, which started in December, so like what, 6-7 months? That's it, really not long at all. I'm a quick learner, I suppose, and I have been putting a lot of effort into it. I am not saying I'm an expert by any means, but my first thing on the heavy mixed media, that is, would be, and there is a process video for this spread here, which I did with the steampunk kit, and yeah, as I said, there's a video for this. That was my first heavy mixed media project. There. Look who came to say hello. Hello, baby boy. Hello. Look at the camera so everybody can see you. Nope, not gonna happen. I think he wants to get down. Guarantee you there is someone now currently thinking, my pet hate about YouTube is when people show their pets on YouTube. I love my cat. Right, where were we? I now have cat fluff all over my face. April Eubanks, 3 questions. What basic items would you recommend for beginners at mixed media? If you are well, firstly, I'd recommend my mixed media basics video, which I will try and remember to link up in a card somewhere. So that's the first recommendation. But if you're a total beginner, as if you haven't got anything at all, nothing, just a piece of paper, I would recommend getting some gesso, some acrylic white gesso. Please don't listen to anyone who says getting acrylic white paint is the same thing, because it's not. So basic acrylic white gesso, whatever's cheapest, and some sort of basic colour medium, so a cheap set of watercolours or a cheap set of acrylic paints. Those are like your absolute basics I would recommend. And then obviously some cheap brushes, some plastic palette knives, you can just use an old credit card or something, and then from there get into things like modelling paste and stenciling and grow and build from there. But the gesso and the basic colour mediums are what I say for absolute basics. But yes, also watch my video. Shameless plug. What's your favourite food, movie and book? Movie and book can be answered with the same thing. It is The Lord of the Rings. I know it is a trilogy. Don't make me choose one from the trilogy because I will refuse. But yes, Lord of the Rings for movie and book. And favourite food? Oh, that is really hard because I really love food. 2 of my favourite things would be crisps, as in potato chips, for my cousins across the pond. Crisps, I just love crisps, just like a big bag of Sensations Thai sweet chili or something. Just, oh, I love crisps. My other favourite thing would be a cinnamon bun, like a cinnamon swirl from Tesco. Tesco do this one, it's so soft and squidgy, and it doesn't have raisins in because anything that has those disgusting little devil pips in is bleh. So yeah, it's just like the plain dough with the cinnamon and the icing on the top. Oh, it's so good. And last question from April, now that I'm really hungry. if you were to attend Carnival in Rio, it's Carnival, isn't it, the Rio one, what would your costume be? Now, I don't know much about Carnival as in what people wear. If you'd asked me if I were to attend Comic-Con, then what would my costume be? Then I would know the answer to that, which would be Gimli from Lord of the Rings. But Carnival, I don't really know what you wear. My knowledge of it is very beautiful women with legs that go all the way up to here, wearing very skimpy outfits and amazing headdresses. So yeah, I have no idea. Probably a black sack because I'd feel really body conscious. Maybe I would dress up as a coconut because I am the same shape as a coconut. Kerry's Crafty Mum Life. Kerry won my last giveaway. If you could design your own scrapbook kit, what theme would you choose? I have thought about this many times. You know, when you just lie awake dreaming. It would be a fusion of nautical, floral and vintage. And there would be butterflies too. So yes, blues, all of the blues. Blue, sky blue, navy blue, and then like the other greeny blue tones of mint and turquoise and teal, and then florals, and then the nautical obviously, and then butterflies because I love butterflies, and then with that little vintage vibe. As I said, just I have thought about this before. Oh, Zoe asked this question too: what other craft would you like to learn in the near future? Is there any particular crafts you wish to try but you not yet have? I don't know if this counts as a craft because I don't think it is, but I would like to learn, and you're all going to laugh at me and I'm really embarrassed to say this, but I would like to learn how to use a sewing machine. It's one of those things my poor mother has tried to teach me before multiple times, and it's like, you know, when the first time you don't understand something, then you're never going to understand it. So I didn't understand the first time it was explained to me, and now it's just made this impenetrable wall of stupid that cannot understand all the how to... If it's all set up for me, I can do it, but it's setting up the whole thing and bobbins and... I don't understand. So I would like to actually... I need someone who's I can explain like I'm 5. Sewing machine, please. And please don't type how to do it because I'm a visual learner. I can't learn through reading. I have to see the thing working. So yes, I don't think that counts as a craft, but that's what I would like to learn how to do. Marie Shepard said, easy to follow inspirational videos. Thank you very much, Marie. Now got lots of ideas, just have to start on that empty page and stop hoarding. Do you have that issue and what do you do to overcome it? Well, if you mean hoarding, we have covered that, so rewind a bit. The empty page, same thing I said earlier about when I lose motivation. I will do multiple things. I will either just sit down and force myself to do it. I will do something like art journaling or something that I don't care so much about. So I won't do something that's for a design team because, you know, those are like kind of important. I have to take pictures and do blog posts and videos and stuff. Yeah, I will do, you know, all the other things I said, do some fussy cutting, do some preparation for crafts, do some die cutting, fiddle around in my craft room, you know, all those things. But the main thing is I kind of just force myself to do it and do something that doesn't matter if I mess it up. So if it's in a journal or an art journal and I screw it up, if I make a card and it looks awful, I can just throw it away. So yes, kind of do something you don't really care about, but also those other things I said earlier about when you lose motivation, all those other things as well. Shuri Thayer, I am sorry. Do you see comments left on older videos? I wasn't sure and have not been commenting, but have thumbs upped them. If so, I will definitely be commenting. And how long have you been crafting? So we've already answered that one. Yeah, I do see comments left on older videos. I get a notification from YouTube for every comment. I will say sometimes YouTube glitches and I don't see a notification for some comments sometimes. So if I've ever missed one of your comments, not just you, Shuri's, anyone watching, I do apologise. Most of that is YouTube glitching. But obviously I am human as well, so I make human error. But yeah, sometimes YouTube does glitch. It does glitch more as well if it's an older video or if like a lot of comments are coming in on the same video, like on a giveaway video, for example. I don't get notifications for all of those. I have to go and manually check them. So yes. Point being, I will probably see comments on older videos, and thank you for putting thumbs up on them as well, because that I genuinely really appreciate it and it really helps us as YouTubers out. Kelly Broughton did not ask a question, but she did leave a comment I would like to address, which is, would love to see another craft room tour. It is like one big craft haul. Kelly, I am so with you. There is no video I enjoy watching more than a good craft room tour, and I mean a good in-depth opening drawers, searching through boxes craft room tour. I get so annoyed when I see a new craft room tour and all they do is just point at the drawers and tell you what's in them. Don't tell me what's in the drawer. I want to see what is in the drawer. Anyway, very passionate about craft room tours. They're my favourite thing to watch. Anyway, point being, there is a craft room tour on its way. I was going to film it a few weeks ago, but as long-time subscribers will know, or anyone who's seen the previous craft room tours, there has been a slight structural issue in my craft room for the past few years, aka a big old hole in the roof that leaks. And it just got fixed yesterday, which I wasn't expecting. So that may mean I may not have a chance to paint it, but I might at least be able to paint that area and sort out the big mess that I haven't been able to use. So slight delay there. I'm hoping to do the craft room tour over some point in the summer though. So just keep an eye out over the next few months, hopefully. Right then, we have 2 more groups of questions and then we will be done. So yay for you that it's nearly over. I'm so sorry that I'm such a rambly person, I just can't help it. Anyway, Janelle Diffentorum, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but it's a pretty cool name. Question, what do you do when you're not doing YouTube videos and journaling? Well, that implies that I'm doing a lot of journaling outside of YouTube, which I'm not. First and foremost, but what else do I do with my life? I do a lot of crafting that doesn't end up on YouTube, mostly card making, I would say. Yes, so lots and lots of crafting in general. Obviously there's design team things I do that not all of them end up on YouTube and such. I have to do editing, that's a thing. Other than that, I do more normal stuff. There's been so much stuff out recently, like, what's your other hobby other than crafting? I'm like, other hobby? Other? What was an other? No, there's no other. But yeah, I just, you know, I watch some Netflix, I watch some more, I watch other people on YouTube, I spend a lot of time with my family, I hang out with my cat. I unfortunately, because of my illness, I have to rest, which sucks. What else do I do? I've already said I'm not very sociable, so yeah, not loads of stuff, but I'm, you know, crafting, I do stuff, I fart around on social media. Just normal people stuff. What is the most disturbing movie or book you have watched or read and why? It's a very interesting question, that. Generally speaking, I don't get disturbed by fiction. I know that sounds weird. A lot of the time, I get annoyed when there's excess, unnecessary gore and violence, especially if it's sexual violence or anything like that. When it's just there to gross people out. It's just there to be taboo. It's just, I get annoyed by that, but I don't trouble with that word today. I don't generally get disturbed by it. I just get hacked off that it's in there for the sake of being in there kind of thing, and it's not doing anything for the plot. Things that disturb me are things that are going on in the world, either now or in history or whatever. Those are the things that truly disturb me. Like watching documentaries on horrible things that happen in the world, that's what disturbs me. Reality disturbs me. Fiction, not so much. I mean, I'm sure I've read things that have made me go, ugh, but generally speaking, well, there is one thing I suppose I could say I've read that has disturbed me, but I don't want to say what it is because lots and lots of people like it and enjoy it and I don't want to offend anyone, so you can guess what that is. What is the most interesting thing that you have done in life so far? Now this is quite hard to answer because it's quite subjective as to what people find interesting or not. Now, one of my sisters is very good at doing interesting things. Like, she has climbed Kilimanjaro. She has cycled all the way from Leeds to Paris. You know, she's very good at doing that kind of interesting thing that most people would say, oh, you know, good conversation starter kind of thing. But I can't think of anything on that sort of note that I've done. There's lots of things I've done that I'm proud of. I'm proud of getting my degree, which, you know, is a good degree from a good university. I'm proud of that. I fostered a litter of abandoned kittens, you know, pretty much saved their lives. I fed them every 2 hours overnight. I found that, you know, I looked after them, nearly killed myself doing so. I was so tired. Kittens are very demanding when they haven't been weaned, and then even afterwards. Anyway, so, you know, found those forever homes. So that's something I'm proud of, but it's interesting. I don't know. Yeah, it's a hard question to answer because, yeah, as I said, there's things I'm proud of, but I've never done anything like climb a mountain or run a marathon or anything. I don't think I physically could, so yes. How many completed journals do you have? It depends if you mean creative journal or art journal or like just normal writing on a page journal, because the normal sort of just writing on a page journal, which might get decorated with a little bit of washi, but I wouldn't count it as creative journaling. I do that every single day, and I fill up a good notebook a month. Not a big notebook, a slim notebook, but so I have loads of those. I have a box full of those. I've got hiccups. Yeah, I have a good box full of those creative journals, not as many as you would think, actually, and often I don't finish one. I've got lots and lots of TN on inserts of unfinished creative journaling. I've got a book half filled, so maybe 5, maybe. And art journals 2. There you go, that was easy. And lastly from Janelle is, which journal has the most sentimental value to you? I have a journal upstairs in my box of journals, which I kept sporadically between the ages of about 8 and 14. It's one of those big thick ones, got a padlock on it, you know, like us little kids had to keep our secrets safe. And yeah, it's really interesting to read, and goodness me, girls between the ages of, especially between like 11 and 14, goodness me, they've got an awful lot of emotions. Things are very, very hard and serious, and it's just like, wow, I had a lot of feelings back then. But, and some of it of course is so cringeworthy, but it's also really interesting, and just like, oh, little baby, little Grace and her little thoughts and feelings. And the last 2 questions are from Sarah Jones, and they came in after I had printed this off, so that's why they're a little post-it. Sarah Jones, any tips on how to store your scrapbook pages, and any tips on how to organise your supplies in general? Now the second question I'm afraid I'm just not going to answer, in that if I start talking about how I organise my supplies, we're just going to end up doing a craft room tour, and I need to do a proper one of those soon anyway. So yes, I would say just check out my previous craft room tours, maybe. Yeah, I can't start, because it's like, where do I start talking? I store my stamps in a certain way, I store my glues in a certain way, you know, yeah, wait for the craft room tour, or just watch someone else's, I suppose. I mean, not the best recommendation, obviously mine would be better. I really hope you guys get my humour sometimes. I worry sometimes that you don't. Anyway, but on any tips on how to store your scrapbook pages, I wouldn't say they're tips, because I store them how everyone else I know stores their scrapbook pages, but I will go get them. So I use 2 types of scrapbook albums, post-bound and coil-bound. I don't have D-ring albums because I'm cheap, really, is the only reason. So post-bound albums look like, I'm going to have to be careful putting this down, not knock the tripod. Look like this at the side. I haven't put a thing in there to say what it is yet. I'm probably just going to wait until it's full. Yeah, postbound look like this, and they usually come with your pockets or wallets in them, and you can add more as you go, and they go in this little thing like that. You can only add ones at the front and the back though, unless you want to take them all out. The one thing about D-ring albums is you can put the layouts wherever you want. But yes, this is my nautical themed album, has all my nautical spreads in it. So yes, that's one way. I have the Trimcraft first edition albums. They usually retail at about £15 each, but at the range they often do them 2 for 20, so that's when I buy those. And then I also have the very classic old school coil bound albums. I know a lot of hardcore modern scrapbookers are going to really be judging me right now, because it's like, it's not done to use these. You use a D-ring album, honestly. But I like the tactileness, and I like the old fashionedness of it. Yeah. And to keep my pages safe, I will just slide a 12x12 wallet over each page like so. Apparently not that one for some reason, but yeah, I just slide them over like that, and then that keeps them archival safe. Not that I'm actually not that bothered about them being available in 30 years time or whatever, but yeah, that just keeps them safe from whatever. And yeah, I just like the tactileness of it. The one thing about the post-bound and the coil bound is they do start to, you know, spread out and get very fat as you start to fill them up. But yeah, coil bound are really, really easy to find. You can even sometimes find them in supermarkets. The post bound, as I say, craft stores in general, the range always have them. D-rings are generally order online. I don't think I've ever seen a D-ring in a shop before, at least no shop that I've been to. So yes, order online if you want to get D-rings. So yeah, that is how I store my layouts. We are done! Hooray! So thank you all so much for watching my Q&A, and the big thank you as well, obviously, to everybody who asked a question. I hope I have answered them a little bit satisfactorily. If I've missed any questions, I will apologise. Again, I say sometimes I do miss comments, they just slip through the net, so I will apologise. on the off chance I've missed any. And thank you again for everyone who entered the giveaway, just everyone who subscribes and supports my channel, engages with my content. I really do appreciate every single one of you, and it's just thank you all so much. I think I've run out of things to say now. My voice is hurting a little bit. I'm not used to talking this much, so I am going to go. I will thank you again for watching. I really hoped you got yourself some snacks or something for this video, because I imagine it went on for a while. But yes, okay, we are done. We are done. It's hard to know how to end a video after all of that talking, so I'm just going to end it here. Thank you again.